Hello, hello. Here we are, the Tipsy Realtors again for season 2.
Yep.
We are one day past the International Women's Day, so
Yes,
that's
it was
exciting.
exciting. Yesterday, everybody celebrated International Women's Day and everything that women have done for us women of the future generation.
Absolutely, and thank you for all of you women out there who have already made a substantial difference and given us the rights, the freedoms, and the privileges and possibilities that we have today.
Yes, it was a good day.
It was a good day. So, today we're talking about odd bedfellows and what you need to know
Such an
when
odd
owning
name. I said
odd
it's such
bedfellows?
such an odd name for especially the drink that we are making.
We are.
And I think it's a problem making the topics and the drinks in the summer. I feel like we picked another tropical kind of concussion.
We did. So this one is, and then we're talking about what you need to know when owning a rental and things that you really should consider and
When
how to
you
run it.
when you're
So-
renting your own home or you bought a rental and you're planning to run it. Yeah.
Exactly. So we're going to start with a cocktail.
All right.
Now, this cocktail, believe it or not, is actually kind of a version of the painkiller, which we only did a couple of shows
Which
ago.
we really liked.
We did.
Yeah.
So this is a version of that. So
But this one smells a lot boozier. Like just while you were making it, the whiff of the rum, I was like,
well, this one is a little bit more complex. So we've got our shaker full of ice, and we're going to start putting in our ingredients. So as you can see with our ingredients, we're starting with aged rum. Now I have a 15-year aged rum. Anna's going to show it to the screen.
yes, it's a really good. I have bought one before for birthdays for people who really like rum. So this one is El Dorado, 15-year-old age. So, and this is per recipe. They actually recommend to use 15-year.
Do they?
Well, you said that.
Well, they recommend aged rum.
Or aged rum. Okay.
Aged rum.
So this recipe, aged rum, is the key.
And then we used the gold rum, which is this one.
Kind of almost feels weird. Like low end rum, I would say, with a very fancy rum.
And then Fernet. Show them the Fernet, which is a
You always have a new thing on the show that I never seen.
coconut cream before, which
licoricey.
I just got that
Yes.
section of co-op with.
You know when you don't do things in the store, you never know they exist, but the painkiller and look, that's where it is. So that's that coconut cream. It's already has some sugar in it, sweet. Your cocktail.
Cocktail whites, yeah.
Cocktail white. Only Robin has all cocktail versions.
I do. You should see my bowls. I have like a whole section
I've
of
seen
my
it.
cocktail or my liquor cabinet that's bowls.
And just 100% pineapple juice.
Now, what's interesting about this one is you actually shake it and you pour it in, and you don't put the ice in the glass to start. You actually put the ice in after.
Oh, after you pour in.
After you pour it in.
Well, better not screw that up for us.
Yeah, so that's actually the interesting part of it. Uh-oh.
It's my outfit for the rest of the day.
Oh, good. There we go.
Okay.
So yeah, you actually pour it in and you put in the ice after. Now you want to use either pebbled ice or crushed ice.
What an interesting color. It's like almost like a caramel color.
It is.
Okay, I'll let you do your own ice. Or crushed ice. And you kind of fill it up.
Yeah, you just fill it up.
So it's kind of like a fast version of frozen, what do you call them? Well, crushed ice, no, but frozen drinks. Because they come like margarita.
Yeah.
Jeez. That drink.
Well, how do you say it in Russian?
I don't know.
All right, and then we top it off. And I honestly just use a bushel of
So you just put the
mint.
before, right?
Yeah,
Or you can
just
really
mint.
eat it a little bit later or something.
Probably. And then,
So I
there
have my
you
drink.
go.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Cheers. Look how pretty it looks.
So pretty. It looks very tropical.
Looks
Very
sweet. I'm
nice.
gonna mix mine up a little, so I have a big bush in my drink.
You do have a lot of mint in there.
Oh, smokes. Very sweet and strong.
Yeah, it is. I find that
What's minty? Something is minty.
It's only the mint. That's it. What's interesting about it
is minty.
It's only the mint. The mint is the only thing in there. But I find that it's kind of more creamy than you would expect.
Did you make mine right?
Yes.
I feel like it's very strong.
Do you? It's exactly what the recipe says.
It reminds me of something. I don't know what it is. Like those mint chocolates. No?
Oh, yeah. It is kind of caramelly.
Oh.
Excuse me, it is kind of caramelly? Don't you think?
Yeah, it has the caramel flavor, and I taste a lot of mint. What? Maybe this thing. Fernet.
Which is bitter. So
bitter.
It gives it a bit of that kind of bitter taste.
And it does smell like licoricey.
Yeah.
So maybe like in a weird mixture with everything, it has that more.
Well,
I actually didn't expect this flavor at all.
You should be getting a bit of a caramel flavor out of the rum.
Yes, definitely. I just definitely rum.
Yeah.
Definitely lots of rum in there.
All right. So, here we are now to talk about what you need to know when you're owning rental properties. So, rental property is the biggest thing you got to start with, and it's the biggest question that I always ask, because people think that rental properties are black and white, and what they are is gray. The question I always start with is, what do you want to get out of your rental property? Are you looking at passive income? Are you looking at long-term inflation investment? Are you looking at getting both? Because all those three things need to be answered before we go forward on looking for your rental income, so we know what we're looking for. Now, people wouldn't think about that, but it does matter. And I always get that, well, I want all of it. Okay, well, that's great. Not all markets give you all of it. Yeah. Sometimes it's something that comes right away, and sometimes it's something that you have to look for in the future.
And I think it's also highly depends on what kind of property you own as well.
And what you're looking at and how we can do it. Now, the big thing to know is that if you are buying any other house that you intend to live in, you can put less than 20% down, and that's as a first-time homeowner, second-time homeowner, anything like that. But if you're buying a property as an investment property that you plan to not live in, you must put 20% down. So if you're buying a house that you plan not to live in, you need 20% down. They will not allow you to do it for less. There is certain exceptions, blah, 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 15% and insurance. But that we're getting into technicalities.
Technical terms, blah, blah, blah.
Blah,
yada,
blah,
yada, yada.
Yeah. Just the easiest, most simple answer is 20% down.
Yes, so it does requires more cash to put down, and a lot more cash probably for maintaining the place. A lot of people forget that rental properties need to be maintained probably on the higher standards even than your own properties, because you are responsible for well-being of people who live in there.
Yeah, and you want to get pre-qualified before you walk out the door looking for those rental properties, because everyone loves the shopping part. And trust me, looking at fancy houses is super fun. But at the same time, you need to make sure that
rental properties are fancy houses?
I don't know, it can be. I like looking at every house. I always love looking at houses. But I'm just saying, looking at houses is a fun part. You got to do the legwork up front. And that's going to your bank and ensuring that you're going to qualify to get a secondary home. And they do take into account the rental income that may come from the secondary home for that qualification. But again, you need to get pre-qualified before you walk out that door to go look at those properties.
Actually, talking about the calculations and the whole logistics of stuff too, for the rental properties, you can pre-calculate the return on your investment as well. And if you are a mature investor who are looking for X amount of dollars to be returned on your investment annually or within a certain year range, that could be calculated ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I always love running the numbers first.
Yep.
I love spreadsheets.
Spreadsheet girl right here.
Yes. And
me not so much. I am really raw, like calculator and a piece of paper, and I was like, okay, got it. This is the number.
But we do have spreadsheets that we can help you guys with.
I should try using them myself. I know. It's in the file. It's in the cloud.
We can give you guys a spreadsheet for you guys to be able to put your properties in and calculate the rate of return on those spreadsheets. But it is important to make cautious rates of returns when you're looking at rentals, because if you're over optimistic or over betting on the high side, then you're going to put yourself at risk, and that's not something that you really want to do when you're looking at rentals. Is you want to keep that
conservative.
You want to keep conservative. You want to keep that margin of error to a minimum. You want to do some conservative estimates, and that kind of information you will get from professional realtors like myself and Anna, who are well versed in the market.
You got spreadsheets. Yeah.
But we'll tell you where we expect the market to see and what we expect the market to do, and all stuff that we can help you with. But again, I'm a big fan. Run the numbers first, and you run it for every property, not just for one, or you do a general run. When we do the spreadsheets, we can actually download the MLS data into a spreadsheet format. We can dump it in your spreadsheet very, very easily and send it off to you, and it makes it very simple to run numbers. We do it for our clients all the time.
And I think the whole, like, the kind of advice number one, just treat your rental property as a business. So, and that's why we're talking about the analytics of the numbers, analytics of the market. Super important to get going first before you start even looking at the property, so you know what to expect, right?
Exactly. And you should be putting aside a bit of a reserve fund. Put side money for those repairs. Make kind of like a 25-year plan on things that you know you need to do on the property, so that when they come up, they're not surprises. I like to joke around all the time that the only surprises I like are diamonds, which I'm willing to take if anyone wants to give to me. And if not, make a plan so that
I'll stick with good bottle of wine.
I'll take wine.
Okay.
But honestly, put them aside. Ensure that you've got the money to do those repairs. There will be unexpected repairs that come up. It always happens. But at least if you've got the big things
usually when you're on
side,
vacation.
Yeah. But if you've got the big things to the side, at least you're prepared and you're not surprised, and you know when your roof needs to be changed. You know when your furnace is probably going to go. You know when your hot water tank's going to go out. You know when all of these repairs you need to do over a long period of time.
Yeah, so if you do have like a tenant who lives there for a very long period of time, because sometimes it's not always the tenant moves in and moves out within the year, having the inspection or like a regular maintenance check or even like furnace clean or whatever is a good idea to do that. And also we were talking about what else was I gonna say? See,
I don't know, but actually Anna brought up a great point. A lot of people don't do those checks.
I'm gonna stand here and look pretty today. I think
a lot of people don't do their checks in between. They're one check every 6 months or one check every year, and you really, really should. In the old days, before marijuana was legal, that was actually how you could catch grow-ups, because it takes 6 months to
You mean
crop
illegal?
Yes,
said
right,
legal.
before they were illegal. You could catch grow-ups because it takes 6 months to crop out. So if you had done your 6 month check every time, then at least you would be able to know if your tenants were using your property to grow illegal substances. It, again, makes a difference if meth labs, fentanyl labs, stuff like that. Now, I will be honest, I know very few clients who have ever had that experience. But you know what? You don't want to be the one story.
Yeah, you don't want to be that 1% for sure.
Exactly.
And that's what I was gonna say. Always stay on top with the tenant. Check in, especially after the big storms.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, can you especially if you're not in the area, but let's say you have a huge hailstorm, ask them to work. Also, like I always like whatever I am like dealing with renting, I was like, guys, if anything leaks, breaks, whatever, please notify me immediately so that it doesn't grow into a big problem.
Understand the Landlord Tenancy Act as well.
Yes.
Because the Landlord Tenancy Act is the guiding light of your rights versus their rights. And it's really important because a lot of these tenants nowadays are very educated, extremely educated, and they know their rights in accordance to that.
And it's available online for everybody.
Absolutely. You should always have a copy somewhere that you can grab it, take a look at it, stuff like that. But you should understand it, because if you're going to get into something like being a landlord, you should understand your rights versus theirs. The other thing, too, is you can get legally drawn agreements, either from lawyers. I use lawdepot.com all the time. It's a website I use. It can make it specific to Alberta. It is a very kind of basic
Yeah,
contract.
well, rentfaster.ca has a whole bunch of forms. They are all fairly decent. I do modify mine as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And something else to consider as well is when you're doing your contracts, I always put in clauses regarding smoking cigarettes within the property. And I put clauses in regarding the growing of marijuana, whether they have permitted or not, because you may want to consider the fact that growing marijuana may invalidate your mortgage and may cause your mortgage or insurance to call on your house. So meaning that the bank could say, look, you're growing marijuana even if it's legal in your home, and for that we're going to call the entire mortgage today.
Yes, and it's a good thing. Like when you are renting your home, make sure your insurance is comprehensive.
Absolutely. So the other thing too is make sure you get proper tenancy agreements. So proper tenancy, or not, sorry, applications, meaning that you're actually getting all of their information, and take a photo of their driver's license so you actually know who you're renting to, because that's important. A lot of people worry that they're being too invasive. These people are living inside your home. You have every right to get a photo of their driver's license to ensure that you're renting to who it is you know that you're renting to, or any other government ID. You want to check their references. I feel like that's one thing that not enough people do, is when they take their application, they don't check their references.
And I would say check more than one, just in case one of them is a friend. And you can't check the reference validity of identity, right? Sometimes you say, oh, this is my boss or my landlord, but having two, at least one work, one personal, is always good.
And Google them, right? We have the internet now. You have the right to Google them and see what pops up about them, which is, honestly, you should. Again, these people, you're entrusting them to live inside your asset that is over 6 figures. This is no joke. They're living inside your home. So Google them and do your research and make sure you know who you're renting to.
For luxury properties, I actually ask them to provide check stubs from the company.
Yeah.
Or if they self-employed, at least 1 or 2 years of a company records.
Absolutely. And you can ask them to provide their Credit Karma report, which is free online, and that they can bring you, and it shows you their beacon score and lets you know how they are at paying off their debts. You don't need to know all the other details of where all their other bank accounts and debts are, but just seeing that score, if it's over 650, 700, usually that would indicate that they're good at paying off debt or responsible at paying off debt. If it's under that, then I would probably have some questions.
Yeah.
And if you're in a condo, you're going to want to really make sure that you're
very
following,
important. Yeah.
what the rules are in your condo building in regard to rentals, how long they have to be.
You might have to register your tenant with a condo, and that sometimes it's $100 fee attached to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But all things that you want to make sure that you've got, again, you've done your research. But I can tell you this. I love renters. They pay off a lot of my mortgages. They're fantastic people. And honestly, if you do your due diligence and you get the right renters, you generally don't have a problem. And you have other people paying off your assets, which is a really kind gift that renters do for you.
Well, we need all the people in the world. We need people who own the houses to rent. We need people who rent them. And hopefully they will graduate into be owners. But, there is, like they say, there is a time for everything.
Absolutely.
So,
yes. Now we have an exciting thing because we're in the month of March. So we have a new gift for everyone to share in our show.
And they feel like it's a patio gift. That's what I could say.
It is a patio gift. And we want to be invited. We will do with you.
Oh, yeah.
We will post it on our Facebook and show that you invited us.
I will modify all the selfies so everybody's going to look good and young.
I always look good.
But we have a little charcuterie board.
Marble is fantastic and it's pretty.
Side actually cheese cool. And we got wine, cocktail, plastic glass, which is great for patio again.
Absolutely.
Getting ready. I know today's minus 13. It doesn't feel like patio.
It's changing. I have faith.
The sun. If you it gives a nice, fresh, tasty taste. I like it.
I like the cocktail. I served it to Clint last night. He quite enjoyed it.
He sleep good.
Yes.
Well, anyway, how are you guys going to win the prizes? If you like, tag your friends, love our Tipsy Realtor videos. We are on all social media platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube, and we still no. We are working. It's gonna be out.
It's okay. We'll be fine. We'll get TikTok going. But it's honestly because the market is so crazy. So if you are out there looking at buying and selling houses, I will tell you, teller and have no crystal ball, that I think that we're looking at another 10% increase a year. So it's
Yes, and interest rates are going up. As we know, prime rate jumped a week ago. So
and markets are busier when rates.
They're gonna say they're saying 2 more times at least for prime rate. So get in while you can.
Absolutely.
We had we helped a lot here. Well, in the last month, sell. So it's totally doable.
Thank you so much. Like and share our show. Call us if you're looking at buying or selling real estate. If you know someone who's looking at buying or selling real estate, make sure to have them call us. Make that they use professionals who truly care.
Well, we have a office
manager. She's not licensed, but she's here as part of the team.
She supports us, which is very important too, Charlene. And actually, next topic.
We about what is it like to be in a daily life of a real estate agent, and we are making 9 to 5 cocktail.
Absolutely, it's not all benches. So, thank you so much. Make sure to call us at the number on the screen. I hope you guys have a chat with